All right, hello guys, welcome here to Out of Turn 4. You notice I'm not alone today. Zach is back here with us. And of course, he's fresh off a trip to Indianapolis, as you can tell
Uh,
from the hat there.
well, well, not really a trip. I kind of grew up like maybe
Well,
like 10 minutes from there.
trip
So
trip to the track. Let's put
trip
it
to the
that way.
track. There it
Okay,
is.
there we go. That sounds a little better, but
Yeah,
one of these days I'll make it out there. But I did make it to this race.
I want to go to Watkins Glen.
Hey, gotta come down here. Then I'll go to Indianapolis and we'll watch an Indy 500 or something.
I got season ticket.
Hey, there we go.
Turn
Sounds like a
four.
plan. All right, but yeah, so today we're talking the NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader. Zach was actually at the first leg of it, so we'll
I was
get
yeah. I
to
was at I was at the doubleheader week on Saturday.
yeah.
So
So I guess first thing I gotta ask you is what were your thoughts on that race there in
so the IndyCar
Indianapolis?
race. I'll be completely honest. I think it's obvious now, if it's not been obvious already, that they've over raced at the
Hmm.
road course. The racing was very, very bland and boring, in my opinion. So that is my personal opinion. One thing I also noticed while at the track this weekend is that a lot of people left after the IndyCar race, which is kind of concerning, especially for NASCAR, because
Hmm.
you would think that because they race there 3 times a year, they would, even if it's a doubleheader, they're paying for the other race. You would think they would stay for the IndyCar, the NASCAR race, but they didn't. Like 75% of the people left before the
Yeah.
Xfinity race started.
Oh boy.
So maybe think about doing the Xfinity race before the IndyCar race in the morning or something next year, something like that.
Or even better yet, moving the IndyCar race to Sunday afternoon and then bumping the Cup race a little bit later.
Yeah, something like. I mean, I thought there was a lot of people there for the Cup race on Sunday. From what I was seeing from the
Yeah,
pictures and what I heard, it pretty much almost sold out from what I was reading, because they were limited on capacity because of COVID. But I mean, I thought it was kind of messed up. I mean, the infield was kind of iffy. It was really confusing because where the infield, how to get in the infield, normally it's blocked off for like the 500 and stuff. So it's not, the
yeah,
infield isn't built to have fans inside of it quite yet. They need to go in there
you'll
and
get
build
there.
it so that it's, you could easily walk in with anything you wanted. They weren't doing much searching. There was a lot of concerning factors in my opinion. It had a bunch of cops there, but I
Yeah.
mean, it was
Hey, better
a
security
little
than
bit.
Mid Ohio.
I mean, it felt like there was barely any security there
Hmm.
on Sunday, to be completely honest. And I could have walked right in after the race. I could have walked right into the garage and no one would have stopped me. That was how bad it was. It was like wide open for me to go walking in
Hmm.
the garage area if I wanted to. And there was fans doing that.
Unreal.
And the garage area is supposed to be blocked off this weekend. So I don't know.
Yeah. Um. Oh boy. So obviously, um, so Will Power won the GP. The token one race a year Will Power wins.
Yeah,
Um,
saved his career probably.
Yeah, the one that he's basic, because every year you got to hand him at least one so he'll stop whining. But hey, um, you know, I agree with you though that IndyCar race was probably one of the most boring on the road course that I've seen. Um,
I don't think they had did they I don't there was only one caution and it was in my
two,
turn that
two
there's two
because
cautions.
remember one stalled and then I
Oh
believe
yeah,
there's
and then
one that immediately followed after that.
yeah, and the one caution happened in the turn I was located in, which was
Yeah.
turn 7 and 8 there.
Yes.
That was actually a good viewing spot in my opinion. Um,
Mm.
Obviously I would prefer to be where the whole whole shit happened on whole like
Ah, yeah, yeah,
mayhem
the famous
happened in
turn six.
turn 6. That was kind of a shit
Hmm.
show and a half over there
Yeah.
Sunday.
I'll tell you though, and you might have missed it on Saturday, but the broadcasters were saying on TV this track is like a Martinsville in a way because it's the road. You wouldn't believe it. They said it was the Martinsville of road courses, just beating and banging.
NBC needs to be shut down after that. That's awful.
They,
But
we've talked about it so many times on here. It's crazy. Obviously, also the Cup race got kicked to NBCSN with 2 laps to go. But hey,
well, you want to know something? Guess what? Guess who was there commentating in person?
who's that?
All the people at CBS.
Oh yeah, Ellen Bestwick.
Yeah.
Lindsay
Um,
Zarniak was there, wasn't
yeah,
she? Oh
yeah, she was
man.
there. It was great.
I heard Alan Bestwick, and he's probably going to be replacing Bob Jenkins, which, by the way, rest in peace to Bob Jenkins, because that's a huge, huge loss for motorsports.
Yeah, especially for this community here.
Yeah,
So.
especially for Indy. Obviously he's known for, I believe, the 92 or 94 Indy 500, his best call.
90. I'm pretty sure it was 92.
Yeah,
but...
he called the closest Indy 500 ever in terms of finishes. So, but just thought I thought I'd get a little off track there because obviously once Out of Turn 4 uploaded last week, Hinchcliffe is here as well. But yeah, but obviously I uploaded after the fact that, or before the fact that Bob Jenkins passed away. So just thought I'd throw that out there. And then obviously prayers to Robin Miller as well, who's battling his own thing.
Yeah.
But they were both, at least Robin Miller was at the track. Everyone had a decal from what I saw. So, fitting tribute. But one thing that was said after the IndyCar race, I just want to bring attention to. Will Power was obviously very upset with how Hinchcliffe was blocking, quote unquote, blocking him. And he, in the media center after the race, took out his frustration and said that IndyCar should allow these guys to get their lap backs under the caution, just like in NASCAR, so that way they won't race the leaders as aggressively.
That's stupid.
No.
IndyCar is not NASCAR for a reason. All right, so let's not. This is open. This is open wheel racing. It's not NASCAR. Whatever. Mickey Mouse racing. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I gotta label NASCAR Mickey Mouse racing. That's basically what it is nowadays.
Yeah. Look. Here's the other thing. We have. I wouldn't say every race, because let's face it, the Nashville race was a complete fluke in terms of caution numbers. Because obviously that was such a rarity, you never see it. But I would say you average probably half a caution per season at the road courses.
So I watched the Nashville race 2 days ago. It was Sunday. I watched it because I didn't have a recording of it, so I had to wait until they premiered it on NBC Chicago because I don't know why NBC had you're supposed to have access to it on Peacock, right? Well, I go on Peacock and it's like, no, you have no access to it. I have Peacock Premium. I didn't have access to it until Sunday. I'm like, seriously? So this is what we're gonna do? I think IndyCar needs to do the same thing NASCAR does and post all the races on either Peacock immediately afterwards or YouTube.
Hey,
YouTube would be the better of the two. But
exactly. But
even if you just release, can we for once get rid of these TV networks? Just post everything on YouTube. I tell you right now, it'll be times better, more views, more money getting generated. It's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
But NASCAR needs to look at.
But yeah, I'd agree with that, but of course we know NBC will break the bank before they lose anybody. And
they want to ruin the entire sporting industry.
Let's face it, as far as Will Power goes, it's a joke that he even said that. It's just, look, here's the thing. We know Team Penske in the past has been given orders to block Chip Ganassi's drivers that were in the championship running. Chip Ganassi has had his drivers block. Colton Herta was the second place car. A Honda is going to help out a Honda, but it wasn't close enough to really consider it that. It was James Hinchcliffe was racing to stay on the lead lap. Okay,
Yes.
so don't be crying. Even still, SCN is still up on YouTube. By the way, we never deleted that channel. We never deleted the contents off that channel. There is a video on there saying about team orders being a form of racing. I'd suggest checking it out. I believe it's got like 200 views, if I'm not mistaken. But I think my thoughts sum it up very clearly on there that it's get over it, basically. That's just how racing is nowadays.
Exactly.
But the other thing is that huge swing in the point standings now because Alex Palou exits. He would have had.
I feel bad for him
Yeah.
because that's a thing that Chip Ganassi needs to figure out, because I feel like every year they have some sort of issue halfway through the year with both of their cars.
It seems like it happens every year though in IndyCar, where the leader, if someone leads the entire season, someone has a meltdown in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's happened to Newgarden. I believe Montoya one year led basically every single race. He was leading the points, and then he lost the championship.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They're gonna have to really be on their game though at Gateway, and that's gonna be a tough one because I don't think Palou's as good of an oval driver as he is on the road courses. So. We'll see. I'm rooting for him though, honestly. Palou's a nice guy, and he's a guy who belongs in the sport. And even better, he just said F no to F1.
Yeah, that's a smart idea though, because I think F1 is on the way down. I think IndyCar is on the way up, and Ferrari's wanting to get in an IndyCar. I hope it never happens.
No.
I hope we get another manufacturer, but I'm hoping it's not any. I'm hoping it's on a course with like Hyundai, Kia, or Honda. No, Honda's in there. Right?
Knowing Toyota, they'll somehow stick their nose in there.
Toyota wouldn't be that bad, but I mean, I just don't want to see any like weird
like luxury
Mercedes or BMW.
No, not at all.
Like that.
So, but with that, from one token Penske win at Indianapolis to another, Austin Cindric was the winner at the NASCAR Xfinity race.
Which is a haunted crap, but whatever. He owns the track. He owns... I don't know.
Yeah.
He owns the track. Well, for the case of Will Power, he owns the track. He owns the series. He owns the car, the team it won. He is the crew chief of the team. How many overlaps can we have right now?
Yeah, that's...
Or spotter, whatnot.
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll see how much we can add to it next year.
I don't know. I'm starting to get sick and tired of Penske rolling the world every time we come to Indy. It's just annoying.
Yeah. I don't know. To be fair, his leadership of Indy has gone probably from a B- to like a C-. At best.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the track would have been probably worse shape if he didn't buy it, but I mean, I'd rather have the city take over the track than him run the thing. So that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, but
I think the state of Indiana would have bought the track if the track went down, but kind of what happened with Assembly Hall. But
yeah. See, the Xfinity race wasn't terrible, but it wasn't obviously the best race. It wasn't a top 10 race by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, whoever's in I don't know what car it was. I think it was the 04 car. The 04 car. I don't know who's driving that, but that car was like, the suspension was all messed up on it. It felt like every time he went around the corner, compared to the other cars, he was almost like nearly flipping the car over every time we went around the corner because the suspension was all messed up. I don't know who's driving again, but
I don't know if there was an 04 car. Maybe it was the Johnny Davis car.
It may have been the Johnny Davis car. I thought it was the 04 car. 1 second, let me check.
Yeah. But I believe, what was it, lap one, or no, that, see, they did the right thing. They got rid of that giant orange turtle that was just randomly in turn
Yeah,
6.
the first
Um,
lap, freaking 5 cars went right over and ended their day immediately.
yeah, like,
Stupid.
what's with these obnoxious turtles? I'll tell you, as he's looking it up, if you ever watch Jet Krause on MDK over there, he actually put in the suggestion, why don't they just plant grass over there instead of having all these turtles?
But
But
then you look at when they had the grass down on the track, it was the '07 car. It was Josh
oh,
Bilicki, I think, driving it.
yeah, he was filling in for somebody, I believe. Or no, wait, that was James Davison in the 5, my mistake. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the '07 was Bilicki or someone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him if I remember properly. It was somebody like that.
Yeah.
But I actually really enjoyed I enjoyed the Xfinity race. It's made me want to go watch another
Yeah.
NASCAR race. I will say it was a lot better than watching the IndyCar race, and it's kind of sad because I really care about IndyCar. But
Yeah.
um, it's just you can't beat the stock car sound. I'm sorry, it's
Yes.
something you have to experience in your life.
See, but see, NASCAR. I'm not gonna lie. I was at the race obviously before Indianapolis. I was at all
Yeah.
3 races: the Truck, the Xfinity, and the Cup. And don't get me wrong, I loved the environment of, like, I loved the racing around the Watkins Glen and whatnot. But IndyCar, though, the fan, like, they are just so much more fan oriented than NASCAR is, and
Yeah.
I think that's what's the difference. I mean, if you're in person, obviously, if you're watching it on NBC, you're gonna think, oh man, they're just shitting on everybody.
Yeah.
They don't give a crap about anybody. But I mean, you go to the IndyCar paddock, and I from what I understand, you didn't do that on Saturday.
I didn't have access to do
See,
so.
you didn't have access, but when you're in the IndyCar paddock, it's so much more different. These drivers are so much more friendly. The fans are much more respectful, and let's face it, they're more. It's just a better atmosphere. Ultimately, it's
Well,
not as.
it's again, NASCAR's been on a downward
Yeah,
spiral for years, and you look at IndyCar. IndyCar's been going up every year,
yeah,
and the reason why is because the IndyCar fans are. I'm sorry for the lighting, but I have
it's
no
fine.
control over the sun blaring itself through my window
Yeah,
right now, and I have it facing down, so the sun wouldn't come in, but it's still coming in. But I mean, if you look at the fans, I was there. Fans were younger when IndyCar was racing, and then
yeah,
everybody left. All the younger people left when NASCAR started racing. It was older crowd. It was
yeah,
looking at like 60 and up. There was a bunch of people 60 and up, and people were leaving throughout the Xfinity race. They weren't staying
yeah.
till the end. It's
Well,
not. I mean,
again,
you can just look at
yes.
the difference when you look at a doubleheader. It's a proven fact. You look at it and you see who's there and who's not there. I mean,
Hmm.
who's leaving. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what else you can base anything off of.
yeah.
Doing.
And again, you have to be there to experience it. If you sit there and watch it on NBC, you're not really getting to see the true atmosphere.
I'd rather
Um,
watch a race without the freaking coverage of anybody talking in the background. I honestly believe that. I think the commentators ruin the race half the time.
I don't know. I
At
mean,
least for me.
I think NBC's got, for IndyCar, they got a decent group of commentators. I think Townsend Bell's very knowledgeable. Lee Diffie is just amazing at what he does. And
Yeah.
then Paul Tracy is Paul Tracy. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way. There's no more comment other than that. Go watch SRX. You'll know why I say he's just Paul Tracy
Well,
at the end of the day.
another example of this is like you watch any of the NASCAR
But,
races, they're splitting off the coverage, NBC at least. They're
yeah.
splitting off the coverage throughout the track to certain people. Like I don't like that at all. that turned me away when I was watching the Watkins Glen weekend. I'm like, why are we doing this?
I don't know.
And
It was a different perspective, but
I didn't like it.
I don't know.
Just especially when you have Jeff Burton talking on there. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
not
They
a
need to
huge
cut
fan of
down
Jeff.
like one or two commentators. I think Latart's not bad,
I'm not a huge fan of Jeff Burton.
but
Um,
I don't know.
doing, I mean, doing pre-race, Jeff Burton's pretty good, but I don't
Hmm.
like him commentating. Um,
They
I,
should
but
just leave it Latart and Junior. But
yeah,
Junior's got a new driver, by the way. Well, of course, we probably won't get to that today, but um, going to the Cup side, though, I know you weren't in the stand Sunday, but
I wish
let's
it
just
was.
say the first handful of laps, probably till like the closing stages of the race, like we're now like 12, 10 to go. Great racing. Great
Yes.
racing all around. Probably 10, like 9.5 out of 10. I think by far NASCAR made the best decision possible going to that road course. Um,
Besides not going to Lucas Oil Raceway, but we
yeah,
can have that conversation on another day.
Lucas Oil should absolutely be on the schedule. I think the Oval should be because I think SRX proved that it's good
Yeah.
racing.
Well, the
But
reason why NASCAR's not going there is because they told them to repave the track and they didn't repave the track because you know what happens when you repave tracks, right?
yeah, look at
And
Texas.
um, yeah,
But
you look
yeah,
at Atlanta,
yeah.
which is a dirt track right now, but
Hey, keep it a dirt track. How about a mile and a
yeah,
half dirt track with
yeah.
high
What about
banking?
that? Yeah,
Oh man. But yeah, so um, they made the right decision though, because let's face it, to the fans who are crying, "Oh, you lost one of the biggest races of the year. Um, you canned it. It was a marquee event. You know,
the racing was
look
awful.
on
The
on
fans weren't
paper.
showing up.
Look, here's the thing. On paper, the Brickyard 400 was a marquee event. Absolutely. Racing wise, though, it fell. Let me put it this way: it was my golf score in
Yeah,
expectations. It was 100 and something over par.
right.
Okay, it was that bad.
Yep.
So they did the right thing. Um, they absolutely did the right thing going to the road course, and I sure hope that they keep this event because let's face it, if they go back to the oval, they're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, they're going to have a problem, all right. But
Yep.
again, I think long term, Lucas Oil Raceway is going to be the solution to the issue. Um,
Hmm.
I think what's going to happen with they're not going to be able to figure out turn six unless they go to
Yeah.
the F1, they go to the F1 layout. And
No,
I don't think
that's
that's a good
gonna
idea because it's just repetitive.
see.
It'll be boring,
I think this
really.
layout is perfect. I think it's perfect for NASCAR.
Yeah.
But they need to do something with that curbing. Of course, my question to you was going to be, were you anywhere near that curbing to see anything? But you had
I
mentioned
did see,
7 and 8.
I did see it from the bridge, but I didn't go down there because I wouldn't have been able to see anything. It
So,
was too many people over by that.
so I guess the big question is then, when you did walk over the bridge, it didn't look like it was deteriorating
No,
beforehand. There was
no,
no real sign of it
no.
letting up before the radiator paint
But
pan
what
got
do you
wedged under
expect?
there.
It was built for IndyCar. It wasn't built for big stock cars going over it. Like how? I don't. Just
To be
stupid. It's the
fair,
same curbing. IndyCar's had issues with it for 3 years, and they
yeah,
still left it for stock cars to go over it.
yeah. See, last year the issue at the road course was the rubber that the Firestones were laying down for IndyCar and the rubber that the Goodyears were laying down were
What about we
creating a
all just
slick.
switch over to Firestone for one
Yeah,
weekend? Come on, man.
so there we go. But
It's
yeah,
the
so
solution to the issue.
so the issue there was last year it was making the track really slick. The IndyCar drivers couldn't handle very well on it because of the big marbles that the Goodyears drop. But then this year they handled it pretty well. I think they brought some really good tires there.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we had such a good race like we did,
And I want to
and
mention
then
something real quick.
yeah,
So before the Xfinity race, they were putting those hurdles down, those the turtles
Yeah.
that were in turn 8. They were having an issue putting the turtle down.
Yeah.
So they brought this guy drives up the workman in
Hmm.
his 1998 Chevy Silverado with a work truck on the back.
Oh boy.
Shows up with a sledgehammer, and starts sledgehammering the thing on the
Yeah.
into the track. Um, I don't think that's gonna keep one screw is gonna keep the track down, keep the turtle down. But just saying, I don't know. That's maybe what happened over there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're temporary. I don't know if they're temporary.
They had to have been temporary if they were fighting it that bad.
And if that is the case, the guy driving around trying to put the one down, I wonder if that was the other ones too.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I could think why it broke was it's temporary and it's
Well,
wasn't working
see,
properly.
I think that can attribute to part of the issue. But from everything I've heard is maybe that radiator pan kind of just ruined the curb from there.
And thinking about it, that the cars are scraping the bottom of the ground. I mean, if they were going through there and I
Hmm.
mean, they're what's the thing in the front of the car?
The splitter?
Being the splitter. Maybe the splitter ripped it out. Like,
Yeah.
and as many times it went over it, maybe the splitter screwed it up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought the race was way
But,
too long. It was 4 hours and 12 minutes or something.
well, part of it was
Full.
those red flags, too.
I know, but
And,
they gotta cut down. 200 miles shouldn't take 4 hours.
see,
So
I'm gonna lay off of NBC here because well, actually, maybe I won't here. Okay, so, of course, first red flag was for the repair of the tire barrier that Joey Logano destroyed with his car. That took about a half hour, I would say, 25 minutes, half hour, which, by the way, kudos to the track crew for getting it fixed so quick because we've seen a
yeah,
lot of repairs that last an hour
right.
in length. I believe we saw it at Detroit when Felix Rosenquist got seriously hurt.
Well, I'm just thinking maybe there's a
But
better way to get tire barriers. You have a tire barrier already made up, so you can just go
yeah,
switch it out real quick. I don't know. Maybe
maybe, but
maybe the wall behind it was already messed up or something.
could be. But then, and the other thing is it's a street course, so obviously it's a temporary barrier. So,
Well, well, I'm talking about
oh,
I'm
talking
talking
about
about Indy.
Detroit's, like Detroit
Yeah,
versus Indy, so that's obviously going to attribute to longer repairs.
right.
But um, besides the point, then of course the second red flag was, I forget, it was the big wreck on the restart, the first overtime, I believe. So they red flag it.
Priest was in that one,
Yeah, Ryan
I
Preece,
believe.
Martin Truex, amongst
Yeah,
others. And then, of course, James Davison, when they actually refired, dropped a ton of oil in turn one.
and that's another issue that needs to be discussed because that should never happen.
Yeah,
Um, and that needs to be blamed on IMS. It needs to be blamed on NASCAR.
yeah.
And
The
this
length
is the
of that
reason why Rick Ware Racing should not have
four
sh-
cup
four
teams.
cars or any cars racing around the track in general. So
Hey,
NASCAR
come
should
on.
force them to close.
They're going for a world record of most 37, 38, 39th, and 40th place
And they said
finishes
they
in
want
a
to be
row.
competitive, or they're trying to be
They
competitive.
want to
I don't
cut
see that
down to two
happening.
cars to be competitive, and that's not.
That's not going to help them be
No,
competitive at all.
no.
They're there to make some
First off,
money. They're not there to actually
yeah,
race.
Rick Ware, kudos to your IndyCar team. First off, your IndyCar team is actually doing really well. I'm not gonna rip
I'm
on
just
them,
gonna say though,
but
Grosjean's leaving to go to Penske, so good luck with trying to resign
to
him.
Penske, you said
Probably Penske or somewhere. I
he's
don't know.
going
He's
to
not staying
Andretti,
there.
I think, but
We'll see what happens
we'll
there.
see.
Maybe he could go to the
Um,
29 car.
but
Problem
then
is, if he goes to Andretti, he's not gonna win a championship. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
but here's the thing though. He drops a ton of oil. Um, and it's not necessarily the oil that's the bad part. It's terrible on NASCAR that they held that caution so long. It looked like they took their dear sweet time dropping Speedy Dry.
Yeah, and they put it all over the track. And like Speedy Dry is a great idea. Let's throw that all
Yeah.
on the track, so it makes
That
it
cor-
so impossible to see anywhere,
yeah,
anywhere you're going.
that is the worst corner to not be able to see anything because let's face it, we've seen some disastrous Indy starts there.
Yeah.
And then we've seen some iffy NASCAR racing down there. Of course, one of them, Chase Briscoe, got run in the second overtime. He got run off into the corner, or got run off into the grass, cut back over, and he got red or black flagged for that, by the way.
They need to do what IndyCar does and goes over that second cut
Yeah.
off and make everybody pass them before they can go. So if they overshoot it, they have to wait till the rest of the field goes by and then they can go.
Yeah. But, of course,
Or something. So many cars.
Yeah. He didn't wait. And, of course, initially, I thought, oh boy, he did this intentionally. But, of course, he's arguing with this crew chief. I was shoved down there. That's why I just kept going. Which to me,
who ran into him?
Hamlin ran into him.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because they were having their little bit after the race.
Yeah. So. Then there were radio issues for the 14, and my guess is he must have been fumbling with his radio while this was going on. But he ran right into the back of Hamlin, took him out, and then of course after that NASCAR disqualified him. So they disqualified him for the race because he didn't serve his penalty and he ran Hamlin off track. Which, by the way, thanks for doing that, because you want to know what? Hamlin has no room to cry about getting shoved off with 2 to go.
No.
Because he did that to Chase Elliott. He's done that to multiple other guys.
Right.
You get raced how you race people. So, needless to say. So, of course, after that, and I'm going to tell you, I don't want to hear anybody say they hate AJ Allmendinger, because he's by far the most humble and energetic guy in the garage. He goes to the lead, and by the way, gives the big bird to NASCAR's charter system, because this team was unchartered in their 7th start. They are now Colleague Racing, by the way, better believe, Colleague Racing. They get their first Cup win in their 7th start with AJ Allmendinger. And Allmendinger's second Cup victory, by the way, his last victory was also a first for another team, and only for another team.
And that's JTG Doherty.
Yep. The JTG Doherty Wreckers.
Yeah, well, don't make fun of JTG Doherty. You got to feel for them. I mean, they're trying.
The factory of sadness, okay? How's about that?
They need to get rid of Stenhouse, but that's besides the point. I mean, Crash House, but
Recky Spinhouse.
Recky Spinhouse.
Yeah. But, I'll tell you, outside of that, I mean, let me put this way. I was rooting hard for AJ at the end there. I'm sitting there and I'm cooking my dinner and I'm like, man, I'm like, he's in 4th. I'm like, he's really got a good shot at this. I'm like, I was sitting there, I'm like, he is in probably the best position of anybody to win this race right now.
Exactly.
And sure enough, I called it on that.
And shows that if he actually had a chance and actually had a decent ride, he would be doing something special with
I think it shows, too, that NASCAR needs more team owners like Matt Colleague in the sport. Because, let's face it, Matt Colleague has built an empire in the Xfinity series. Maybe he's not getting the wins yet, but he's got probably, outside of Junior Motorsports, the second best Chevy team in the field.
Exactly.
And he's got guys that can win, let's put it that way. And only 5 years into his operation.
So who exactly is, is AJ going to race the Cup next year? Or
he's going to run part-time, I imagine, the road courses next year.
We should have him run full-time.
I mean, they're going to have 2 full-time cars, so I imagine, and of course we'll probably discuss this. We're going to do an off-season, like a silly season special soon here, by the way. But I imagine that Casgarala will drive probably 10 races himself. Yeah. AJ's going to drive a handful. Then it's probably going to be probably a few races with Jeb Burton, I imagine.
Yeah.
And then maybe Sheldon Creed in a race or two.
Sheldon Creed, I mean,
I'm nervous about that, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be a mix of all Chevy
We'll see if he
drivers.
gets
That's what I think.
sponsorship or not.
Yeah, maybe Josh Berry in a few races. Think of
I'm
that.
thinking Josh Berry deserves to have a cup ride, but it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Hey, he got an Xfinity ride. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
But
for him.
he needs a little more funding to get that cup ride. Let's be honest. He struggled
He's
with
older though. So.
he struggled to get a little bit of funding for his Xfinity campaign. So, but overall, I guess the weekend was a success, minus the final 10 laps of the Cup race where they had to dig up the curb and drop a ton of speedy dry.
Yeah, but again, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it again. We're better off going over the Lucas Oil Raceway.
Yeah,
We'll have a full house there. It'd be sold out. You can bring in some temporary stands like you did at
yeah,
Nashville, and you're perfectly gonna be good. I mean, that track is perfect. I know it needs some safety features added to it, because it hasn't been really updated because there hasn't been any racing going on there, but minus late models.
yeah, and
Um,
then the Rogue SRX race.
yes, and US AC
USAC.
whatever USAC, yeah. But other than that, there hasn't
Hmm.
been that much going on in that oval, and that track it's built for NASCAR. It was supposed to be. I mean, it's got the history that the Brickyard has. I mean, it's not exactly the same history, but it has history.
Hmm.
It's a historic track.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm telling you, Lucas Oil probably throw money at it for sponsorship because they own the track. So, and Kroger obviously over the years has supported that track in many ways. So, I'm just saying, you can bring back Kroger, bring Xfinity over next year, bring trucks back. There you go. Got a doubleheader
yep.
right there. You're gonna have a doubleheader with IndyCar on Sunday. Perfect.
Not a bad idea, honestly. Um,
So you have two doubleheaders.
yeah. But hey, I think it's pick time though here. So, IndyCar's going to another oval, and they're going to be in a doubleheader with the Truck Series this weekend over there. Um, Probably their best oval outside of Indy. Let's face it.
And if we added Milwaukee, that'd be better than Gateway. But
Yeah.
that's whatever.
Hey, add
Sorry,
Milwaukee, delete Texas. That's my opinion.
Milwaukee is so underrated. I'm sorry.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's
So,
just
with that though, what do you think for IndyCar at Gateway here? I believe I'm out of order, but
um. I'm thinking Rossi this time. I think Rossi needs a win. I think this is
mhm.
gonna. I think this weekend is very important to his future, in my opinion.
I yeah,
He's got to win a race.
he's got to win soon. Let's put it that way.
He is.
Um, but
I mean, he Grosjean may be taking his ride. Is his
I
contract up at the end of the
no,
year?
he's the only him and Hurt are the only two secure right now for next year. Tinch
And
and
Rossi's up in next year, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I don't know. I think Rossi's staying put, to be honest. Like, he's just had, I mean, let's face it, last year was kind of,
He's Andretti.
well, last year you can't really fault him there. It was just a bad year overall for everybody. I mean, Scott Dixon was literally the guy dominating he could have very well won all 17 races last year.
Yeah,
Because let's face it, they were the only team that was actually prepared to run all year. This year, there's really no excuse. It's just the matter of the level of competition is closed up. Like, it's a lot closer now. And I only say that because Rick Ware Racing is actually competitive on a week to week
exactly.
basis. So that should
Right.
tell you about the
Well, that's
competition.
probably because Grosjean's racing for them. That's the reason why. It's probably the only reason
Yeah.
why. But
I
we'll
mean,
see what happens
Pietro.
next year when he's not on the team.
Pietro ran a couple good races though too, so we can't really
I don't
say
know. I
too
kind
much
of
of
want to
that.
be critical on them. They bring in some good drivers, and you
Yeah.
imagine that not like NASCAR. You don't need a
Coin
perfect
magic.
car.
Coin magic.
Yeah,
But
especially on road
um,
courses.
but no, IndyCar, I'm taking a shot in the dark though. I'm going TK. TK's gonna win this race.
We'll see. We'll
I'm
see.
telling
I
you.
think Rossi's gonna win though.
I
But
think.
we'll see.
Look, I mean, let's face it. TK's the only real driver of the 48 in the IndyCar series right now.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
last.
Jimmy didn't do very well this
Yeah.
weekend. I'm just gonna let you know he did not look very
No.
good. It looked like he was struggling. I mean, he
No.
didn't look like he's struggling as much as Hinchcliffe was. Hinch was having issues trying to go around
Yeah.
turn 8. He was the only driver hitting the brakes in turn 8, quite
Hmm.
literally. And I mean it. Like, as a Hinch fan, I think he needs to look at either leaving Andretti
Hmm.
or he needs to look at retirement or going to IMSA or something. He needs to look at something else.
Yeah. It's not really good for him to stay in IndyCar right now.
No, and even if he went somewhere else in IndyCar, I think he would be better. I think the issue has been I don't think he's been getting the best cars at Andretti.
Maybe he revives his career with Coin.
That could be an option.
I
I
mean,
mean,
let's face it. I think Coin's bringing in somebody to revive their career, whether it be Connor Daly or um,
I think Connor
Hinch.
Daly's getting a full-time ride with Ed Carpenter next year, but we'll see what
I
happens.
don't know about that, but
I need Ferrucci. I mean, if you can get a team of Ferrucci
hmm,
and Connor Daly on the team, I think
hey,
we'd be
I'd be
a
down
perfect
for that
team.
in a heartbeat. You can't not like Connor Daly. So,
Yeah,
but um, so now next we got the Truck Series at Gateway here, and of course keep in mind it is
yeah,
the playoff opener.
yeah. I'm not
Oh,
used to that, but it's whatever.
yeah,
Um, I'm just gonna go with Matt Crafton. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't really watch trucks very often, not
yeah,
especially this year. I haven't been really paid attention, but
yeah. It's all right. So I've got Austin Hill. He's won the last two truck races. He's kind of just on a roll right now. So I think he's got it. Of course, keep in mind you can't really. I really don't think
who's
the Glen
who's
one
running
should
this
have
weekend?
counted.
Who's running the 17 this weekend? Is it Ryan Preece or Kevin Harvick?
Maybe it's Tanner Gray's brother, would be my guess.
I have no clue.
Yeah, Taylor Gray is running it.
Okay.
The brother of Tanner there. So then, of course, we got the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That will be at your favorite 2 mile oval. Uh,
Yeah. There it needs to be bulldozed, burned to the ground, and
hmm.
resurfaced with a cornfield. That's what needs to happen with that track right there. But
What do we
I'm
live in
just gonna
Iowa?
go. What?
What do we live in
Michigan.
Iowa?
Michigan. Um, I with maybe Allgaier finally win a race. Let's go with Allgaier. That's what I'm
Yeah,
gonna do.
Junior Motorsports needs to find some sort of rhythm. Let's put it that
Yeah.
way. They've been kind of all over the place the last few years. And I think you can attribute that to the fact that Annette and Noah Gregson are racing for the team.
Yeah, Noah
They're kind
Gragson
of
needs to go.
they're kind of dead weight. Well, I mean, Michael Annette's been dead weight for years though.
Yeah, and he is he even gonna race next weekend? He didn't race this weekend, so
If he doesn't, I imagine Josh Berry's going to be in the one.
I
Or no,
mean
wait.
Chase Elliott was in it this
Wait,
week,
sorry.
so
Josh Berry's in Gateway, so he won't run. But I imagine then probably William Byron or someone like that is going to run the one car this weekend. I don't think Chase Elliott's going to run it again.
no.
But I don't know. I got Ty Gibbs. He's just on a hot streak right now. And let's face it, Granddad's giving him the best equipment he could possibly give him.
Yeah, that's how he's gonna be when he gets the cup too. So
Yep. And then, of course, we got the NASCAR Cup at Michigan as well.
yeah, I think Toyo's gonna win this weekend. It's the 2 miles, so I mean, I don't see how it doesn't happen. I'm gonna go with Christopher Bell this weekend.
Hmm. Probably the only well, outside of Bubba, probably the only Toyota driver I can tolerate or like.
Yeah, but I think Christopher Bell needs to start winning now, um,
Yeah.
because Ty Gibbs is going to take his spot next year, or following year,
Yeah,
whenever
we'll
they
see.
decide to promote him. So
Maybe Kurt Busch goes to 23-11, then has a spectacular year, has like 7 wins, and then Joe Gibbs poaches him away.
yeah, and brings in another 40-year-old driver. That's a great
Hmm.
idea.
Yep.
Let's have a
The super
40-year-old
team
team
of
here.
four. Yeah,
40-year-olds.
I'm sorry, super and then of course in parentheses senior and then
Senior
team.
team,
Yeah, super senior team.
Senior Gibbs
Yeah,
Racing.
but no, Cup Series. Let's face it, Larson almost won at Pocono.
Yeah,
Should have very well won that race. I don't care what anybody says. Bowman was well out of it on the final
yeah,
lap. It was just a mishap. I think it's going to come down to those two again, but I think Larson gets the better of them this time. So, I don't know, but I think it's going to be a Hendrick 1-2 with those two because I think Bowman's really good on those 1.5 2-mile ovals.
yeah.
So,
We'll see.
we'll see.
Normally Michigan goes Toyota though, so
True.
historically. So I'm thinking that's why I went with Toyota.
I don't know. I just feel like
Sweet.
Toyota's not as strong as they have been.
Yeah, but it's Michigan.
Yeah.
I feel like every year Michigan. Last year didn't Kyle
this
Busch
year-
win it?
I think so. No, wait, no,
Yeah.
it was, I think it might have been Hamlin.
It was somebody. Joe Gibbs.
I don't know. They
last
ran a
year.
doubleheader last year. That much I remember.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely been a Chevy year, though.
Yeah.
Easily. Like, not even close. But, with that, though, we want to say thanks for watching. Zach, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
You know, providing the insight from the track on...
I'm doing my best. Doing my
Yeah,
best.
hey. Soon, maybe we'll have enough money and we can just go to every race and then provide insight after.
Yeah, I'll be back in a few weeks for the
Well, except
coverage.
Texas. We don't recognize Texas as a real track.
Exactly. But yeah, I'll be back in a few weeks. I'll help you out with the IMSA coverage since I'm super into IMSA. So.
Hey, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
But of course, we don't want to leave you right now necessarily. Zach's got some photos and videos from Indianapolis. We're going to kind of make it into a montage, and you guys will get to see firsthand what it was like being in the infield for the Indianapolis race. I don't want to call it grandstands because it sounds like they didn't have many.
They had the stands on the front straightaway in turn 3 and oval turn 1 and 2, but it was better to sit in the infield. But I'd rather been like on the end of the front straightaway. But
yeah.
Turn 4 had been fine, but it was, I don't know. I already sit there for the 500 every year, so why would I want to go sit there for a road course race? So
true, but all right. But with that, though, we want to say thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this short little clips of videos and pictures, and we'll be back.
You like the new graphics too.
Yeah, and by the way, nice new graphics. Thanks to Zach for those as well. Yeah. We'll be back though next week, and of course we'll be back in our normal time on Tuesday. So until then, guys, goodbye, everyone.
I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Fuck all the cages, no, I sit and take it. No, no. They let me for dead, I guess I'll never learn. Every time I break, there's just more pain to burn. They'll never, never, never learn. Till the battle's won, till kingdom come. I'll never run. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, calling me. They'll be calling me royalty.